Hallo Guys, the Critical German here, and welcome to a new wunderbares video. As already stated, I'm a big fan of the manga of Inio Asano, especially Goodnight Punpun. So to get an anime adaptation of one of his other works that I really loved is a real blessing. I am of course talking about DeDeDeDe Demon's DeDeDeDe Destruction, which released 2 years ago. Let us review the series and ultimately answer the question if the series succeeded in adapting the manga. There will be no spoilers. The plot of DeDeDeDe is really simple to explain. How would normal young adults behave during a time of instability and uncertainty, potentially even a war? Our main protagonists Kadode and Ontan are close to finishing school and step into the adult world, but they have no real plans for the future and just live their lives and have their own small problems. Everything could be normal, but well, a big alien spaceship is hovering over Tokyo and nobody knows what will happen. Will they start a war? Will the mothership sink and destroy the city? There are also incidents happening that kill people, like broken parts that fall out of the ship. So in general, it's a very unstable situation. In the course of the story, we also get to see different perspectives, even political ones, on the situation. So it's not just coming of age, but rather a multi-layered view on a heavy topic. If you're looking outside of the typical mainstream shows and look for something else, more character driven and a little deep dive in political situations, in economics and the government, this is the right show for you to watch. Just be aware that a multi-layered narrative is awaiting you. The anime is doing an excellent job in catching your attention due to the uncertainty aspect. You yourself do not know what will happen next. And both of our two main girls do not know either. In fact, not even the government really knows for sure, giving a more realistic look on it, with them reacting rather than having a bulletproof plan. In other shows, it is oftentimes shown that somebody or someone at least know what's going on. For example, like an expert scientist character, to elaborate on exposition or something like that. In DeDeDeDe, the not knowing circumstance feels like fresh air and fits the narrative and characters perfectly. Overall, it's really good for building up tension and you just wonder what will happen next. The heart of the show, its characters, and there are many, all feel realistic and unique, like they should be. Even the side characters that don't get that much screen time feel very realistic and are well enough developed to fulfill their role in the story. The opening, by the way, the lyrics are written by Inio Asano himself, reflects the melancholic vibe pretty well. The ending is a banger too. It's one of these that masterfully feel like 1000% belonging to this show only. You cannot separate it from the show. Even better is that both musical pieces are sung by the two voice actors of the main girls. I love that dedication to a project. So, as you can see, I'm in love with DeDeDeDe. But now comes the but. At least for the anime. Because they made a pretty stupid decision for it and changed the order from the events of the manga a bit. Let me explain. So for the anime they released an episode 0 as kind of a prologue. I will talk about that episode, but the thing is that in the manga it happened much later in the story and it makes narrative wise more sense to show it later. My general recommendation to enjoy DeDeDeDe to its fullest is to read the manga or skip episode 0 entirely and watch 0 after getting to episode 16. So you just start with 1, go to episode 16 and then watch 0. I will spoil 0 now, otherwise I cannot make my point clear, but technically for anime only watchers, it's not a spoiler since it's the canon beginning chronologically. Remember when I talked about the tension part and that nobody knows what will happen? Yeah, they throw this concept completely over the board by showing us in episode 0 that the apocalypse will happen. Scheiß job. Yeah. My guess is that they wanted a strong pilot episode to attract the audience because they feared the initial start of the manga is too slow and unengaging. Yeah, let's throw in some action, show the apocalypse and thriller aspects, people will love it. No, sacrificing a key aspect of the original source material does not work, especially when it had a clear reason for being there and makes narratively more sense. In the manga, you didn't know the apocalypse would actually happen, it was an invisible threat. It is much more effective that way, and when it happens, it hits like a truck and flips the narrative upside down. People don't know this and will of course start with 0 because it's the first episode displayed and was the first episode released back when it aired. What a shame for most of the people that started the show that way. This would be my one and only anime criticism. Let us tackle the question if it was a failure then. Well, if we talk impact wise, I feel like nobody watched the show, which is baffling for me since Inio Asano is well known and popular. You can argue that Goodnight Punpun is much more popular and would probably have succeeded a bit more, but that manga does not translate that well into an anime compared to DeDeDeDe because bird main character. Yeah, you could make it work, but DeDeDeDe has just humans, so it's way easier. And not every manga needs an anime adaptation, in my opinion. Another factor is the visibility. I mean, did you even know it was released to Crunchyroll 2 years ago? I actually was looking forward to the anime's release, heard that it started initially as a movie and not a show in Japan, and then nothing. Someday I just stumbled upon it accidentally on the platform and directly watched it. Like, there was no visibility at all. They could have pushed it some more and marketed it as the first anime adaptation from the famous Inio Asano, author of Goodnight Punpun or something like that. Outside of just one trailer that displayed it like 1 second. That would have caught at least some attention. With its themes and complexity and, well, the name, it would never become mainstream, but a little more recognition in general is something the series would have definitely deserved. Mr. Asano, I got you covered, man. Deutschland loves you. So yeah, definitely check this series out. It is in no way a failure, even though it feels like nobody talks about the show. It's actually pretty amazing, but just do me and you the favor and skip episode 0. It is for your own good. That was my opinion. See you in the next video. Macht's gut, bis dann. Ciao.